Chronic disease is the leading cause of death and disability in North Americans today. 7 out of 10 deaths are caused by chronic diseases. The US, we now spend 3 times more on healthcare than any other developed country. In North Americans, we make up 5% of the world's population, yet we take 70 to 80% of the world's medications. Yet here we are. We continuously rank last or near last in the world in overall health. Senior citizens now spend more time in nursing homes and assisted living than ever before in history. The chance that a senior citizen will enter a nursing home is now 1 in 3. The chance that a patient in a nursing home is sedated or physically restrained is now 1 in 2. The average out-of-pocket cost to live in one of those nursing homes for just 1 year is $76,680. Science now confirms what we intuitively already knew to be true. It's not your genes, it's your choices that you make that ultimately determine your outcome. We have more diet books and websites and iPhone apps than we've ever had before, yet we're worse off than we've ever been. And now the average person doesn't know who to listen to or what to do. So we decided to create truth-based content and deliver an experience that we call a makeover. It's to help you get consistent results and ultimately change your life. The Max Living Makeover, it's based on 2 principles. 1 is that your body is brilliant, and 2, it's that you're programmed for health. So today you're gonna learn the most cutting-edge science on hormone-based weight loss, how to burn fat most efficiently, and how to develop new habits for lasting change. Our desire is that you would not only achieve your health goals for yourself and for your family, but our ultimate desire is to see you change the way you fundamentally view and manage your health and healthcare. And that's what today is all about. Over 100,000 people have participated in the Max Living Makeover like this one today. Everyone from soccer moms to Olympic level athletes and really everyone in between. You're gonna learn more today about the regenerative power of the body and where true health and healing comes from than most people will learn in a lifetime. What that means for you is more time with the people that you love and more time to devote to your purpose on this planet. Your Max Living Makeover starts right now.
All right, everybody, welcome to your makeover. This is part 2, nutrition and hormones. I'm Dr. Mark Wolfman, if I haven't met you. If you guys did not see last week's, after this, you're gonna wanna go back and watch the recording of last week's, which was setting up your mindset for achieving all of your goals in 2021, setting your goals, doing it the right way, getting your mind right for what it's gonna look like to go through the hard stuff, and how to actually succeed this year. Tonight, we're talking nutrition, we're talking hormones. This is normally an event that we do at a large venue. And I went back, I was like, I gotta just show them what it is that we normally do. So normally we have a room rented out, typically at a local church. This is at Tri-Unity. We had about 300 people at this one. I think this was at the Pinnacle Center, loaded up for this exact makeover with 250 people and another 300 last year at Tri-Unity again. And it's an immersive experience. The reason why we lock you guys in a room live for 3 hours on a Saturday morning with no distractions is so that you can just sit there with your notebook, with your New Year's resolutions, with your mind to reflect on where you've been and where you want to go. And you can't go anywhere, meaning you've got to just sit with it and work through it. And the immersive experience, by the end of the 3 hours, you're ready to change and you're ready to take action and you've got your steps. We've seen such great results with that way of doing it when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to becoming fit and energized again, when it comes to coming off of medications, working with your medical doctor to come off of medications, achieving goals, sometimes for the first time in your life. So that's what we normally do, is these live events. Unfortunately, in our lovely state here, we're not able to do these live events where we pack everyone in like sardines like that. Not this year. So how to succeed at this event on a webinar? Well, number one, take notes, write things down. It's not just content, not just like tips and tricks and information that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. It's what are you thinking about? What are you reflecting on? What are some realizations that you are having about your health and about your past and what you want for your future? Number two, share it with a friend. Literally hit the share button. Send this to a friend. Bring a friend alongside of you to do this with, because all the studies show when you have accountability and you're doing this with somebody, the results are so much better. And then number three is participate. You can be a spectator in life or you can be a participator. And the people who participate get the results. If you go to the gym and you watch people exercise versus you go to the gym and you exercise, who's going to get the results? The person that participates. So how does it look like to participate here? Obviously, post comments, post questions as we go, interact. We've got all of our doctors are going to be on this post answering questions in the aftermath. A few of our team members are ready to go to answer questions here. So let's post comments. Let's start it off. Comment below right now with how many Max Living workshops or makeovers you have been to. And if this is the first one, say this is your first time, because you get a prize. All right. So first timers get a prize, and the one who's been to the most get a prize. And that prize is to be determined by Brittany Robron. So Brittany, go ahead and put a nice surprise together. All right, here we go. Today is about setting standards. Remember this picture from last week? The rubber band where when you set your standard, it pulls your actions to that standard. It's the only way you can accomplish goals. You can want something, but it will not happen unless it becomes your new standard in life. Because remember this, you'll always fall to or rise to your standards. You'll always fall to or rise to your standards. So today is about setting new standards. On the other side of goal setting and goal achieving is you get what you tolerate. So what are you going to continue to tolerate in your lifestyle? What kind of body are you going to continue to tolerate looking in the mirror as you age? What type of health are you going to continue to tolerate as you age? If you're okay with being overweight, if you're okay with being obese, you will become overweight and you will become obese, period. Unless you genetically are going to stay thin, no matter what, being an American and being around the types of foods that we're presented with that just come our way unless we're intentional, if you're okay with being obese, you will become obese, period. So if that's your level of tolerance, that's where you're going to go. And by the way, you're not alone if that's you. A lot of people are okay with being obese. Let me show you. So our state is not doing well when it comes to obesity in Michigan. The state of obesity in our country, in the United States, does not look good. We are the most obese people in the world by far in the United States. And in Michigan alone, over 30% of Michiganders are obese. Over 30%. And check this out. This is obesity ratings by age. Take a look at this. There's a drop off when it goes to 65 plus. How is that possible? Well, the obese people aren't living very long past that age. So they get weeded out of the mix and the percentage goes down. Quote by Dr. Jack Wolfman, he's a cardiologist. He wrote the book Paleo Cardiologist. Highly recommend it. Amazing book. I know I've dropped a bunch of books to you guys. I've given you a huge reading list, but The Paleo Cardiologist is the book. He says this: you see a lot of old guys and you see a lot of fat guys, but you don't see many old fat guys. And there's a reason for that statement. We have to do something different. And this is not just about looking bad in a bathing suit. That's not what this is about. That's not what tonight's about. People say, well, oh, heart disease and cancer, that won't be me. Well, it's 5 out of every 6 people are dying in our country of heart disease or cancer. Did you know that? 5 out of every 6 people dying of heart disease or cancer. So the question is, why won't it be you? And especially if you're obese. Effects of obesity: diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, fatty liver disease. What else is on there? Lung disease. Who are the people? Think about this. We talk about comorbidities. Who are the people who are dealing with, who are struggling with COVID? When they get COVID, it overtakes their body, creates crazy immune response. It's the same virus. It's the same virus as what healthy people are getting, yet they struggle so much with it. It's people with comorbidities like these, which is why obesity is such a major comorbidity when it comes to the immune system and fighting off these viruses and these issues. So you can change. Here's the thing. You got to believe that you actually can change. Now, here's the deal though. I'm not getting on here tonight and saying here's the magic drug, and if you buy it from me, blah, 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 or here's the supplement. We're going to sell 1,000 bottles of some supplement that's going to make you healthy and change for you. That's not the case. It actually doesn't work that way. That would be putting the responsibility on somebody else. That's not how health works. I'm sorry. That's not how life works, really. I might get a little saucy tonight. Apologize for that. The government is not going to make some policy that's going to somehow save your health. Just so you know, just a little FYI. There's no policy that's going to be put in place. There's no amount of activists that are going to go out and create some change from the top down that's going to somehow make you healthy. It will not happen. It's going to have to come down to individual responsibility. What a concept, right? Taking individual responsibility for your own health. Maybe that's something that we should think about doing. And your own lifestyle. Just so you know, I believe in personal individual responsibility. I do not believe, this is just personal belief, I get to say it because I'm the one that's on the screen. I believe in taking personal individual responsibility for your life and for your health. I do not believe that the government and everything top down and society should be taking care of these problems that we have. I believe we should be building our own character from the inside out and creating our own results by taking individual responsibility for things, such as keeping yourself healthy. Okay. And that extends to a lot of things, especially that are going on right now, as you guys can probably tell. So what does it mean to take individual responsibility for your lifestyle? Well, that word lifestyle is kind of vague because we hear lifestyle all the time. The lifestyle system, and if I put it in terms of a system, maybe it'll make sense to you. The lifestyle system that actually changed my life and helped me to take individual responsibility to lead myself and my family to health is this lifestyle right here. It's called Max Living. It's called the 5 Essentials. Let me make this big so you can see. Now, it's kind of hard to see those words up there. If somebody can type in the 5 Essentials in order, that would be great. If you want to start healing, if you want to create health from the inside out, start right here. This is where health comes from. The body has this amazing healing power. Your body can heal from the inside out when there's no interference. Think about that for a second. You were made to heal. You were created to heal. God made you perfect. There's an incredible healing potential in there. There's just things that interfere with it that get in the way of that healing to come forth and happen. So instead of looking for some dramatic quick fix, let's give the essentials a chance. And they're called essential for a reason, because these are the 5 things that you need. You need these things to be working well in your body for you to be healthy. See, it's not about treating symptoms. The difference here, the difference in overall philosophy of health. See, what you're going to get tonight is the complete opposite, polar opposite message from what your medical doctor is going to tell you. Not that your medical doctor isn't needed. There is a place for your medical doctor. I have used the medical system when that has been needed. However, this is going to be the opposite message that you would get from your medical doctor when it comes to being healthy. Because we're not using these essentials to treat any symptom or treat any condition or treat any disease. In fact, we don't treat symptoms. We've never treated a symptom of anybody who's watching. We've never treated a single symptom in our office. We remove the interference. We get to the cause, remove the interference so your body can heal on its own from the inside out. So the 5 essentials are removing the interference of neurological stress with chiropractic. Remove that neurological stress. Remove the interference of bad foods, processed foods, and poisons, and replace with life-giving foods. That's your nutrition essential. The third one is mindset, which we went over in detail last week. Remove the toxic thoughts and the toxic beliefs that cause stress and interference to your body's healing. The fourth one is oxygen and exercise. So remove inactivity, remove the sedentary lifestyle that actually causes interference to your normal innate functioning and replace it with movement, right? We were made to move. And then the fifth one is minimizing toxins. So remove the sludge, the crap that's lodged up in your body, free up your detox systems, your drainage systems, so you can continually remove all that's coming in that you don't want to be in there. And when you follow those 5 steps, when you just plug into the 5 essentials, the body goes to work and the body heals, and we see it happen all the time. So the question is, have you given the 5 essentials a fair chance? Here's another question. How much weight do you want to lose in 2020? See, there's something drew you to this whole weight loss makeover thing. How much weight do you want to lose? And then which essential of the 5 is missing from your lifestyle? Because I'll tell you this, the essential that you're ignoring is typically the essential that kills you. And I said, it sounds kind of harsh, but here's the deal. People will ignore one of these, and then all of a sudden, that's the problem that sends them down this downward spiral in their life where they have a hard time getting a grip on their health again. And for the majority of us, when it comes to weight loss resistance, the big one is nutrition. All right. So here's the deal with nutrition. Is eating healthy really that big of a deal? I mean, come on, who cares? Like, let's just eat whatever comes. Here's the deal though. You've heard of food as medicine, right? Food can be interference also. You have this perfect, amazing, innate intelligence in your body that can heal from the inside out, just like we said. So every food decision that we make should be either this. It should be, how can I increase the expression of innate healing with the food choices that I'm eating? Instead of just thinking what tastes good or what's going to make me feel good in the short term, think about this. How can I increase the functioning of my cells in my body? Because if I can get all my cells working great, then my body is going to work great and it's going to feel great too. Just like adjustments to your spine, it helps to release that innate healing potential through your nervous system. In the same way, if we eat life-giving foods, we're promoting innate to work, the innate intelligence that God put in our bodies to work when we eat life-giving foods. It recognizes that as life and energy. There's a quote or a phrase in chiropractic that I want you to remember. The body needs no help. It just needs no interference. That's a writer-downer. The body needs no help, just no interference when it comes to healing. Here's this pyramid. I want you to look at this because this is the new pyramid. No, I'm just kidding. This is a total joke. I mean, look at it. You've got McDonald's and Burger King at the bottom, Skittles and Yoplait and Coca-Cola, Wonder Bread. The point here is that we don't look at food as though it even matters to our bodies. We will use this type of food pyramid. This is like the food pyramid that I kind of grew up eating, not really knowing. I mean, my mom always made really healthy foods, but I just really wanted this stuff. And you look at this, McDonald's and KFC, and I had a cancer patient one time, and she told me that her oncologist said that nutrition isn't important. Like, don't worry about the nutrition. Don't worry about what you're eating. Like, we're just going to go through these treatments. And you hear all the time in the medical community that nutrition's not important. And it reflects in our culture. Obviously, we're the fastest and sickest country in the world. Do you know that your body regenerates? You have regenerative power. You actually make new organ tissue over time to replace old organ tissue. What does that mean? Your heart, you actually get a new heart about every 20 years when it comes to regenerating the tissues. New bones every decade. New red blood cells every 4 months. A new liver every 5 months. New outer layer of your skin every month. New lungs every 3 weeks, and you get a new stomach lining every 2 to 3 days. What is making up those new organs and new tissues in your body? It's the foods that you eat. And so I like to say, I don't want a Kentucky Fried Chicken heart. I don't want a Wonder Bread stomach lining. You are what you eat is a literal statement when it comes to regeneration of these tissues. And so when it comes to nutrition, let's just make small changes. Just start small, get some easy wins. We talked about stacking wins last week. Again, if you did not watch last week, you've got to go to last week's webinar and watch that. It's in the Facebook group, or I'm sorry, it's on our RFC page. Go back, watch that. That's going to set the stage for what we're going to do this week and next week, the finale. But get some easy wins. For instance, swap out your white bread on your sandwich for Ezekiel whole grain bread, right? Or for one meal, drink water instead of soda. Like, just start small. Try stevia in your coffee rather than sugar. Cut out the toxic creamers. If you're eating a burger, try going bunless. Breakfast, you're eating breakfast out at a restaurant, and they ask you, what type of toast do you want? Just say, I don't need toast. No toast. Like, it's okay to skip out on that. Some of us, even that list, you're like, you don't even want to know what I eat. I've got like a McDonald's bag and probably a Chick-fil-A bag somewhere in my car right now from today. I get it. I was there too. I was a fast food junkie. I ate the crappiest foods you can think of. Just start right now by doing something simple to ensure that you have the right nutrients while you're making new changes. And so one way you can get just the right nutrients in, what's critical to every organ, to every cell in your body, are vitamins and minerals. And we've been asked by so many patients, can you just put the things that I absolutely need, the non-negotiable supplements, can you just put them like together in one thing so I don't have to think about it? And we heard you, and we developed it. And so we came out with the daily essentials packets. So I just want to show this to you because it makes it so easy for those of you that tonight's not about supplements, by the way. I'm not into like talking a whole lot about supplements, but they can help fill in the gaps, and they can definitely help get you the nutrients that you need while you are making changes. And so what's cool about the essential packets is that it has everything you need. It has the multivitamin. These are all high quality, by the way. These are the ones I take. These ones I send to my parents and my family members. And I have access to any type of supplement as a provider, and yet I choose these because of the quality. So I use these myself. So the multivitamin, the vitamin D3, super high quality. The omega supplement, whenever you're dealing with omega, which is like fish oil, it's got to be the right quality, or else you could be toxifying your body. B complex, this is a methylated form, so it can really help with people that have toxicity issues. And then magnesium also, which can calm and relax you. So those are like the 5 major essential supplements. And so we put them all in like a packet. And so all you do, you just tear the packet, you just take those supplements throughout the day. And you don't have to think about what it is that you're taking. So that's what we like about it. Normally, if you were to get all those together or separate, it'd be $128. So it brings it down to $100 per. We're putting those on sale for $80 for anybody that that person that it says today. But what that's going to be for is for the next week, and you just got to mention that you saw it on this webinar, and we'll give you the discount, so you can get the daily essentials. All right, so let's talk weight loss. Let's get into it. Here's the deal. Most people, they don't know how to lose weight. They maybe can lose weight, but they're not healthier when they do it. They gain the weight back. Why? Typically, what people try to do is they're trying to do a weight loss plan. And if the goal is just to lose weight, what happens with your metabolism is once you've lost the weight, you're left with still a crappy metabolism when the goal is to lose weight. And so your energy still sucks. You're not really any fitter or stronger than you were before. You never really loved how you had to eat in order to lose the weight before. So it wasn't fun for you. It wasn't enjoyable. And then you gain the weight back, and typically more weight because you got discouraged and you started eating like crap again. That's what weight loss plans typically produce. So the question is, how do you rewire your metabolism so that you can hit your goals and you can continue to live a lifestyle that's healthy, that puts you at a healthy weight instead of doing the yo-yo stuff? And that's where ketogenic comes in. Ketogenic. You guys have all heard of keto before, right? Or maybe you haven't, but a lot of people have heard of the ketogenic diet. Yeah, they just say like, yeah, I'm going keto. I'm feeling jacked. My energy is super high, or I've lost weight. It took me a while to get there, but now I feel like a machine. I keep burning fat. That's because it's similar to the advanced plan that we teach, but keto has all the buzz and the marketing. So I want to bring it out and just talk about it. We've been teaching ketogenic diet for about 20 years now. This isn't like a fad. This is an excellent, healthy way to lose weight, and it is because It is metabolic change that you're making. You're actually changing your metabolism. So what really is keto? Well, when it comes to the ketogenic diet, it's defined as a low carb, moderate protein, high fat diet. And the design of keto is to reduce carbohydrate intake to about 5% of your total nutrients. And then you replace your normal carb intake with fat. So here's how you break it down. 60 to 75% should be fat of your nutrients, 20 to 30% proteins, and then only 5% is carbs. And I don't want you to get freaked out about these percentages. And you don't want to, you don't need, it doesn't have to be exact. That's not, putting exact amounts on there isn't what's going to make the difference. It's the general principle. I'm not into counting and doing math all day long when I want to do keto. But if you follow the principles, you're going to notice a big difference because you're becoming a fat burner in your metabolism. Okay? Because weight loss is about hormones. And the first hormone we want to talk about tonight is insulin. All right. And some of you have seen this chart before. I'm going to repeat it because it is a life-changing concept if you can remember it. So that's why I kind of keep repeating it. Here's the deal. When you eat sugar, okay, it can go one of two places. It can go into the cell and become energy. That's normal. That's a good thing. It becomes ATP, which is energy within your cell. Or it gets stored as fat. Now, the normal cell on the left has insulin receptors. It allows the sugar into the cell. The glucose goes into the cell. It makes ATP with the gatekeeper, insulin. So you eat sugar, the little yellow arrow, and then you produce a hormone called insulin, which is the green arrow going up. That's normal. And the insulin allows the glucose to come into the cell because you don't want glucose swarming around in your blood. You can only handle so much glucose in your blood. So what insulin does is it takes it out of the blood and it puts it into the cell so that you can make energy. And that's a totally normal thing. Now, here's the problem. Look on the cell on the right. We eat so much sugar, way too much sugar. Your body can only handle like 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar at a time, and yet we eat so much more than that. So we have to produce so much more insulin to keep it out of our blood. And we produce way too much insulin and we bombard the insulin receptors. And so you look at that cell on the right, eventually the receptors start burning out and you have less of them. So now your insulin can't attach, which means the glucose can't come into the cell. So what ends up happening? Well, it has to go somewhere. It has to either become energy or get stored as fat on your body. So what ends up happening is you become insulin resistant. And then the sugar ends up storing as fat on your body. This is like somebody that used to be really skinny and all of a sudden they've blown up and gained a ton of weight. This is what happened in their metabolism. All of a sudden, it went down this downward spiral of insulin resistance. And because you have so much insulin now floating around your blood, you're going to crave what? Way more sugar. So you become addicted to sugar, where you eat a meal and an hour later you need a snack. It's not that you need a snack, it's that you have so much insulin resistance that you're going to be addicted to sugar and you feel like you need more sugar. So then you eat more sugar, and again, it's a downward spiral. It's a vicious cycle, and it ends in a diagnosis called type 2 diabetes. This is diabetes on a chart right there. If you know anybody with diabetes, they need to see this so that they can understand what's happening. Because the diabetics, I just said it, the diabetics, it's not that they are diabetic, it's that they've developed insulin resistance because they couldn't stop eating sugar for a season in their life, and then it kept perpetuating. And then they go to their medical doctor and they get prescribed some medication, or they're given more insulin, and it just perpetuates the problem long term, although it can handle the blood sugar. Because I'm not interested in blood sugar, I'm interested in the cause of the blood sugar problems. So that's why if you change your lifestyle, you can go, instead of from left to right on this chart, you can go from right to left, and you can resensitize those insulin receptors and create normal energy again and normal sugar consumption. but it takes a very intentional effort. We're going to show you how to do it. If you want to be, you got to become a fat burner. Okay. Your body is going to first use the most readily available energy, which is sugar. Okay. Those, the number and question mark sign, those are supposed to be down arrows going to the next one. So sugar is at the top up here. That's the first thing that's going to use. And carbs, sugar and carbs are the same thing. Then after you've used the sugar and carbs, because those are the most readily available, it'll start to break down proteins to make energy. So sugar and carbs, then proteins. And at the bottom, after those things are used up, it's going to do what? It's going to break down fat to make energy in the form of ketones. So ketogenic, because you're using ketones for energy. That's like your backup fuel, really. So the ketones, your liver creates ketones from fat, and it puts your body in a state called ketosis, where you are using fat for energy. What a concept. Using fat for energy doesn't just allow you to burn fat off of your body, but using fat for energy, it's a cleaner fuel, meaning you don't crash like you do with sugar. It's actually longer lasting energy. This is why people say they have a clearer mind when they're on a ketogenic type diet. So if we want to burn fat regularly for energy, what do we have to do? On a keto diet, you restrict the what? Carbohydrates, and you restrict proteins, which means you consume a whole lot of fats, and then you make ketones, and you end up burning fat for fuel and not sugar. And what's more important is you're training your body to utilize the fat that's on your body to make energy. So people that are in like starvation, right? And they let's say you're stranded in a cave somewhere. I don't know, I'm making up a story here. You're stranded in a cave somewhere and you can't eat for like a month. You're gonna eventually go into ketosis, where you are using the fat that's on your body as fuel for your body. And so people who are really huge can actually survive a longer time because they've got a lot of fat to feed off of. So like the meal that you want to feast on is the fat that's on your body. And the way to get there is by changing your diet and retraining your metabolism. This is what metabolism means. Metabolic means breakdown. What are you breaking down for energy? Are you breaking down sugars or are you breaking down fats? Which fuel handle are you using there? Okay. And there are bigger benefits to keto than just losing weight. In fact, even if weight loss isn't your primary goal for 2021, think about this. Energy, increased energy, clean, sustained energy, cognitive function goes up. You can be really clear-minded, very clear-minded when you're on keto. That's what I feel when I'm doing it. Stabilizing your emotions. If you're running on sugar, that is a recipe for anxiety and depression and anger and just bad emotions because of what sugar does to the brain. Skin improvements, we hear all the time. Reduced cancer risk, that's been studied quite a bit. Most cancers can't live on ketones, but they really like to live on sugar for fuel. Weight loss, that's what it's mostly known for. Heart health, like I said, there's a great book that lays this out, Paleocardiologist. It shows why eating keto is good for your heart. And then brain function and memory. I've never been clearer than when I'm eating a good amount of fat. You know, your brain and your nervous system is made up of fats that you consume. So if you're not eating enough fat, then you're actually not feeding your brain and your nervous system. And then reduce blood sugar, because it eventually will fix the insulin issue and the insulin resistance. This is how people reverse type 2 diabetes, and they go from right to left on that chart that you saw. Okay, so there's a lot of really great benefits to doing keto. And into the nuts and bolts, people say they're doing keto. I ask them, well, what are you eating? They list it off, and it's like, well, you're not really getting into keto with what you're eating. So you gotta track it. When you're consuming a keto diet, it's important to focus on quality whole foods rather than processed unhealthy foods. All right. So some foods to eat more of include healthy fat sources. Okay. So you've got avocados, avocado oil, olive oil, ideally not cooked in a pan where it gets smoking, because then it breaks down the oil. But in a cooler temperature, olive oil is fantastic. Cold water, wild caught fish. So I love salmon. I just love it. It's awesome. I eat a lot of it. That's where I get a lot of my natural, good, healthy fats. Raw nuts and seeds is another way to do it. Like just adding good omega-3s, adding chia seeds to your foods, adding hemp seeds and flax seeds, and anything that you can do fat-wise. Even putting coconut milk for your smoothies, eating coconut oil, just taking a spoonful of it even, or throwing that into smoothies, or mixing that, or cooking with that. Anytime you can include a good healthy fat, that's going to help to propel that keto ratio. Foods to avoid: you want to avoid the starchier vegetables like potatoes. Potatoes, they have good nutrients in them, but while you're retraining your metabolism, you're going to want to avoid those. Sugars, obviously, processed snacks, even juices have just tons of sugar content in them. The refined oils, especially like vegetable oil, canola oil, got to get rid of that. That's gonna cause more inflammation. It's going to throw you off. Grains, so bread, grains, pasta, that's the kind of thing that will pull you out of keto, because you're going to be using the sugar. You're going to keep using that sugar. You're not going to get down to the fat. You got to make sure you're utilizing the fats down here for long enough so you stay in keto. And then even most fruit. And again, I'm a proponent of fruit. I think fruit is fantastic for you, but the ones that are higher sugar, like pineapples, mangoes, and even most apples, they can pull you out of keto. And they're not going to be as strong of sugars, but while you're retraining your metabolism. I don't think living in ketosis for your entire life is a good idea. This is about doing it for a season to get your body on track. And you can come back into it and use the principles of it to stay to maintain a fat burner. People say, well, I can't do keto because I'm not going to give up bread. And bread really is one of the biggest offenders here. As soon as it gets into your body, bread becomes sugar, and it triggers that insulin spike. The glycemic index of bread, meaning how much insulin does it cause, is really high. So it spikes your insulin, and then it blocks your ability to burn fat. So if you want to lose weight, it's going to be almost impossible if you continue to eat bread. If you're craving bread, there's a possibility that you're deficient in certain B vitamins, particularly B1. So taking a B complex could help you with bread cravings. Alternatives are good. So almond flour bread, flax seeds, zucchini bread, cauliflower. There's I've even had like cauliflower crust pizza, and it tasted like pizza. So there's a lot of alternatives out there, and a lot of people are doing keto now. So you can shop for like keto stuff all over the place, and you're not depriving yourself hardly at all. And once you start doing keto for long enough, those cravings for sugar are going to go down, because you're going to become a fat burner. When you combine keto with intermittent fasting, there's a synergistic effect. So what's intermittent fasting? Well, people have been fasting for thousands of years. And the idea is that you have a fasting time and a feeding time. So we're not just eating constantly throughout the day. We're giving our body enough of a rest for a couple of reasons. Number one, to finish digesting and then detoxifying, okay, to clear out your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, to actually clear out the digestive tract, which never happens if you just keep eating all the time. And then secondly, it's to start pulling your fat stores for energy. So when you do ketogenic and you include fasting, the popular one is 16-8, meaning 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of feeding. If you do 16 hours of fasting, those last few hours, really just those last like handful of hours, are when you're going to start to be pulling fat stores and really training your body to use fat for energy. So if you really want to get the results, I would highly recommend, and I've seen it work for myself and for others, doing intermittent fasting, doing a 16-hour fasting window, 8-hour feeding window. What does that look like practically? Skip breakfast. It's not really all that complex. So people are like, oh, it's not just skipping breakfast. There's so much to it. No, there isn't. Just skip breakfast. Stop eating at night around 8 o'clock. It doesn't matter. The thing about this, it's not about the time. It's about the timing. Does that make sense? I don't think that made sense. It's about the timing in between. So you finish eating at whatever, 7 o'clock at night, let's say. Don't eat a snack at 9 o'clock. Don't make a huge charcuterie. Is that how you pronounce it? Charcuterie or charcuterie or charcuterie? Someone help me in the comments with how to pronounce charcuterie. But what we do is we make a freaking huge plate of cheese and salami and olives, and then we drink wine, and we're like, oh, it's just my late night snack that when I watch Netflix. You're screwing up your keto. You're screwing up your metabolism. You're eating an entire meal at like 9:30 at night and calling it a snack, throwing off your entire ketogenic deal that you're trying to do. Your metabolism gets way fired up, insulin ramps up, and you've screwed the whole deal up. So don't eat that stuff if you're going to be trying to lose weight. Finish eating at dinner time, and then you don't eat again until lunchtime the next day. And if you really want to get advanced, when you do your workouts, and I'm going to talk about workouts next week, but when you do your workouts, if you did them in the morning, it's good because you're in that fasted state. You want to work out in a fasted state. So if you really want to go advanced, you work out at the end of your fast and then you eat. Because then what is the energy that you're using during your workout? It's all the fat that's on your body. You're using ketones. Once you get there, you're then using ketones to work out, which is great because that's exactly how you want to be training your body. So that's how you want to do it if you want to really utilize keto. So highly recommend intermittent fasting, 16-8. So practically, like I said, sorry, I lose train of thought. You finish eating, let's call it 8 o'clock at night. So someone do the math for me. It's not until noon, I guess, the next day that you eat. I might be off there. I do it a little differently, but that's like a typical deal that people do, and it works great. Okay, let's move on. Breakfast. If you think about the word breakfast, break fast. You're breaking your fast. So if you are going to eat breakfast, if you're not going to do the skipping breakfast thing and you're going to eat breakfast, just don't load up on sugar. Don't eat the American breakfast, which is like bagels and or like pancakes with syrup. And it's like, oh, but what about the keto pancakes? Yeah, and then you douse it with syrup and you screw the whole thing up again. Bagels are going to throw your insulin off the charts. Eating like donuts, it's like, that's not breakfast. That's called dessert. And you're calling it breakfast, but you're really eating dessert first thing in the morning. And the reason you're doing it is because you're insulin resistant and you're already craving sugar. And you say, yeah, but it tastes great with my coffee. It makes my coffee taste better. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense at all. A healthy breakfast idea would be to do like a protein smoothie. Okay. So instead of doing bagels, do like a smoothie where you can actually add fats into it and you can help your body out with your goals that you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, frozen fruit. I like to do like if I'm doing a smoothie, antioxidant blend from Costco is great because it has the organic berries. The berries are low in glycemic, so it's not going to ramp your insulin level up as much as the high glycemic fruits. So frozen berries, coconut milk for fat. I'll throw in chia seeds for fat. I'll do the Pure Path bone broth protein. The Max Living Pure Path protein is the one I like. I like the vanilla. I'm just telling you what I do. The whey protein is good too. I prefer the bone broth protein. And then Max Greens I'll put in there for vegetables. So you start your day with a ton of vitamins and minerals from the vegetables in the Max Greens powder. And then what else? It doesn't, not a whole lot more than that. You can put chia seeds, you can put flax seeds, you can add other things for fats. You can put a spoonful of coconut oil in there, just throw it in there, it'll blend it all up. You can put a raw egg in there. All those types of things are good. But just don't start your day with a ton of sugar. That's all. And we talked about the hormone insulin. Do I want to go over this? Yeah, I'm going to go over this. So let's talk leptin, because I told you guys I'd talk about hormones. So we're going to get into hormones. Let me make this as big as possible. Sugar is going to increase the storage of fat cells. When you eat sugar, it'll increase how many fat cells you store on your body. that will increase your release of leptin. Leptin is what tells your brain to burn fat for energy. So you're thinking, well, great, the more fat I have on my body, the more leptin I'll send to my brain and I'll burn it. Not when you're really fat, because what ends up happening is your leptin receptors get bombarded with too much leptin. Very similar to the insulin resistant issue, your brain becomes resistant to leptin signals because there's too much of it being sent to your brain. And so you will not burn fat for fuel. Your brain has become numb to leptin because it's been sent leptin signals constantly for like years. So now you don't have good leptin sensitivity. You have leptin resistance. And again, it's all caused by eating too much sugar, which is why this can heal. So instead of burning fat for fuel, again, you become a sugar burner and you crave a bunch of sugar and you eat a bunch of sugar. This is why you can heal it, because there's a cause to it. When you know the cause, when you understand it, there's something about understanding how your body works that changes your behaviors once you like get it. So there's a cause to this. So there's a cure to it. So what do you need to turn this whole thing around, to spin this on its head? It's cut out the sugar and cut out the things that turn to sugar. This is where the advanced plan comes in. This big rush of glucose is going to mean a big rush of insulin, right? You don't want to do that. You got to cut the sugar, increase the fats, get on the keto diet. It works, period. It's worked for thousands of years. I don't know. It just works. Okay. So it's going to help you out. And we've got a challenge I'm going to introduce in just a few minutes here that's going to really make it come clear with what type of action steps to take. Okay. And some of you are like, well, I don't even know what do I have to eat to get that many calories? Because if I got to get all my calories in within that 8-hour window, I don't know how I'm going to eat. I need to eat so much. We've got some things to help you out. So we've got these max keto bars that I love, because the keto bars, somebody said they taste like Snickers. And I'm like, have you ever had a Snickers before? That did not taste like Snickers. They do taste like Reese's Pieces though. Peanut butter cups. If you've ever had a Reese's, this is like a healthy Reese's. And it's great because it's loaded with good, healthy fats. 15 grams of healthy fats. And that's from coconut, almond butter, cocoa butter, sunflower butter. And then it has 10 grams of protein from like pumpkin seeds, hemp protein. And it also, if you end up adding up the net carbs, it's only 2 grams of net carbs. So if you need to get more calories, you're looking to keep the fat burning going, the keto bar is good. You don't want to eat like 10 of these throughout the day. Gosh, what was that movie with the girls, Mean Girls, where the girl ate a ton of those bars? And never mind. So it's only 2 net carbs. So these are a good thing to do. And then there's the keto chews. Apparently they have 500 milligrams of MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. That's like coconut oil. I've never tried these, so I can't really comment on these a whole lot, but apparently they're really good. Where you can get MCT, again, coconut oil will give you the caprylic acid. That's going to help you stay in fat burning. We also have an MCT oil. So if you really like coffee in the morning, a good way to stay in ketosis is to do something called bulletproof coffee, where you mix in fats with your coffee. And a great fat to mix is MCT oil. We have MCT oil at the office. It's a high quality one. It has caprylic acid, which again is going to keep you in ketosis even when you're drinking coffee to start your day. I like coffee, so I will very often make bulletproof coffee as my morning coffee. So this is what it comes down to, is the core plan and the advanced plan. And the core plan here, this is like, all right, so the core plan is kind of like your basic plan. This is about getting to healthy fats, getting rid of the damaged fats, doing the proper animal proteins. So the grass-fed beef, the wild-caught fish, the naturally raised chickens. It's clean eating. It's a maintenance plan. You can do whole grains on the core plan and ancient grains. You don't want to eat a bunch of white bread. You can do fruits and vegetables. This is like you weigh what you want to weigh. You're feeling good about your health. You already are a fat burner. Okay, you can live on the core plan. That's great. Now, if you know that you need to like make a change, you know that you need to do some hormone repair, you know that you need to take some forward steps with your health, it's the advanced plan. It's the advanced plan. We used to call this the healing diet, because this would be what we'd use to heal the hormone issues, to heal insulin resistance, to heal type 2 diabetes. It's with the advanced plan. And so this is going to be no grains. Again, this is for a season, but no grains. A lot more healthy fats, get into ketogenic, no damaged fats. Yes, same naturally raised animal product. You're doing organic as much as you can with whatever you're eating. Only the low sugar fruits and berries. Advanced plan is so powerful. We've seen so much healing happen with the advanced plan. For example, right here, a friend of mine did this study in Georgia in Dr. Fred Roberto's office. You might know Dr. Fred Roberto. He's the one that leads the Max T3 workouts. This is the system that this patient plugged into, where there's support, and it says diabetes slayers. It's the advanced plan can help reverse type 2 diabetes the right way, in a healthy way, with no drugs. And it's not about supplementing your way to a change. It's about lifestyle. And what bugs me and what I hate is when people say, hey, I think I want to try your program, or, I did that Max Living program, or I just don't want to do your program thingy. I just want my back pain to go away. I just want to lose weight. The program thing is called getting healthy. It's about releasing the potential that you already have right now in your body. God made you with this amazing intelligence and healing power. It's not that we are the diabetes slayers. It's that you are the diabetes slayer. And the reason it happens so much in Max Living clinics is because we acknowledge that you are the healer and that you are taking individual responsibility for your health. And when you do, and when your body's intelligence is smarter than 100 PhDs from Harvard, smarter than any technology, any research that's ever been done, you can heal. And so ML clinics, Max Living clinics, see these amazing transformations all over the country when the unique intention of everything that we do is to remove interference and not treat symptoms. Then the body heals every single time, every time. I want to touch on this because, and then we're going to get to the challenge, because stress and weight gain for a lot of patients that I have seen throughout the years, and just a lot of people that I've known throughout the years, the one interference that they needed to get over in order to lose the weight, defeat the anxiety or the depression, overcome a whole list of symptoms, actually had to do with the stress that they were under. And so you got to understand too, if you are under a tremendous amount of stress, if you have gone through a lot of trauma, and I don't know anybody who hasn't gone through some type of trauma in 2020. So if anxiety and depression and stress have been your story for this last year, you got to take that into account, that maybe doing the ketogenic diet isn't the only thing that you need, and you might need to really focus inward on releasing some of that stress. And next week, we're going to give you a lot more tips on stress reduction and how to do it naturally. But just start to ruminate with that on your mind of, there might be some of these symptoms or some of this weight loss resistance is coming from just the mental and emotional stress that you might be under. So just have to touch on that, because when you can finally lift that, when you can work through the traumas, when you can get the anxiety lowered, a lot of times people will lose weight and they'll finally overcome the digestive issues, the heart rate issues, the pain issues that they're having. It's all encompassing. And so we don't want to discount that. We don't want to ignore that. And I just wanted to touch on that for you before we get to the challenge. And now onto the challenge. And I think if Brittany, if you are on here, I'm not sure are you able to jump on? You are. So okay. So I see you here. I'm gonna bring Brittany on, because I suck at talking about challenges and making announcements, and Brittany is fantastic at that. And that's why I'm gonna add her to the stream if I can. There you are.
Hey guys. Okay, so I am super, super excited to talk to you guys about this challenge. I made a video that you guys are going to watch in the office, but this is the first time ever we've done a challenge where we're actually like paying you to do it. So there is a buy-in because we know if you buy in, you're going to focus on yourself a little bit more, right? So it's $1 a day to do this. So $45 for the challenge. You get a packet with exclusive recipes, both advanced plan and core plan. You get a grocery shopping guide to simplify how to plan for your eating program. You get like a Max T3 cheat sheet, a mindset sheet. It's super well put together. I like things looking pretty. But most importantly, we're paying you to invest in your health. So if you complete the challenge and get 90 to 100 points, which all you have to do is eat your plan, squeeze and work out a few days a week, make it to all of your adjustments, you get $75 in max cash. So we're paying you $35 to do this. So I posted a link in the comments earlier. I'm going to post it again so it's easy to find. You can click that link and pre-order your challenge packet through the webinar and then pick them up in the office. We do only have a certain amount of these though. We did kind of do a soft rollout of this yesterday in the office. We have a few packets already claimed, but we have 50 total that we can make available for you guys. So make sure to snag those ASAP.
That's awesome. That's way better than I could have done. Thank you for jumping on and helping out with that. So here's the thing with the thank you, Brittany. I'm going to remove you here. Whoops.
Hi guys.
So there it is. So the thing with the challenge, and when we do challenges like this, it's about immersing yourself. It's about getting a community around you. It's about plugging into a system where you don't have to think, and you're going to have accountability. You're going to have people helping you out. And a lot of the major changes that we've seen in our office, we've been open for 8 years. We've been serving the Grand Rapids community for quite a while now. We've seen what works and what doesn't work. And when people just kind of dip their toe into something and they learn about it, and then they typically forget about it, a lot of times they don't get the results. And then we're back here again the following year at the end of January talking about goals that they want to accomplish that they failed at. In order to make this year different, you got to do something different, and plugging in and immersing yourself has always been a good way to make that happen and to get over that hump. So this is about getting over that hump. This is about going against the resistance that comes from all the lies that you believe, all of the commitment issues that you've had in the past, all of the past failures that you've dealt with. You can push through those past failures when you have people on your team and when you have coaches around you that are walking you through this. Our team is here to coach you through this. This is what we care about. You're like, well, if you guys are a chiropractic office, why don't you just worry about getting patients in and doing chiropractic work? It's like, well, because we know there's other essentials and we want to take care of you as though you're in our family. And when I got into this, when I decided to open this office 8 years ago with my wife, Janelle, my thing was I want to take care of patients the way that I would take care of my family members. And what I knew was that we have to include these other essentials. We have to touch on these, not just touch on, we have to dive into these other areas of health and provide this for people because they're not getting it. They're not getting it from their medical doctors. As great as medical doctors are in their lane doing what they do, they're not getting this type of advice and this type of coaching from them. They're not getting it from their peers around them. A lot of times they're getting more negativity from their coworkers and their friends and their churches. And there's not a lot of real health being talked about. So we feel like we needed to step in the gap and be that rock that redirects the river into the right path. And so we're here to help you join the challenge, get into the community, jump on our motivation group. It's like our community group on Facebook. If you need info on the group, Brittany, can you post a link to the group in the comments here? Everyone who's on this is invited into the group. We're always posting tips and motivational stories and testimonials on that group to keep you motivated, to keep you moving forward. But remember, a compelling vision for your future will pull you to your goals forever, while a moment of motivation will just push you in the meantime. So it's about developing that compelling vision. Go back, watch part 1 over again, Watch this part over again if you need to. And we will be back next week to discuss detoxification and exercise and movement. And we're going to round this thing out with all 5 essentials. You're going to get everything that you need to make this the healthiest year of your life. Thanks for being here. Have a great night. We love you guys. Join the challenge. Brittany gave you all the information. If you have any questions, put a comment with a question down there, and our team will get to it later. Have a good night.